Imagine you have a teammate. This teammate has decided to play Edgar on Hot Zone.
Back on the grind.
What is the distance this Edgar would travel in order to feed the friendly neighborhood Clancy? This distance Edgar has traveled can be called by the name vector. This is essentially just a fancy way to say the amount of distance that's been traveled and the direction the distance has been made in. Let's say Edgar decides to swap direction in the middle of movement. Say if they spot a lonely tick that needs some hugs. We can separate the movement into two distinct parts, the part before the direction change and the part after it. Each of these has a direction Edgar was moving in as well as the amount of distance he covered. So they are essentially just two vectors. These two vectors can be added together. This creates a third vector from the starting point of the first to the ending point of the second. This represents the distance from where Edgar started to where he ended up at the tick. Movement isn't the only thing that's a vector. Pretty much anything that has a length and direction is considered one. For example, the distance of a projectile. When you fire a projectile, that projectile has a direction it will go, and a distance it will travel before it despawns. This is the same thing we saw before, a distance and a direction. Let's take a look at Mandy's projectile for a second. This projectile has a large distance it will cover. However, if we stand still, this can increase to be even longer. What happened? The original distance vector was multiplied by a value to get the new projectile distance. We call the value used for this a scalar. This is essentially just a magnitude with no direction. So it changes the length, but doesn't affect the direction at all. All these vectors we've been talking about exist within the same space. This space is the game map. All the vectors can exist on the map, and things can go from one position to another on it. Because you can add vectors, as we've seen with movement, and you can multiply the vectors by scalars, as we've seen with Manty's projectile, this game map space is called a vector space.